Guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Sneha, and in today's video I am going to talk about popular books, series and authors that I do not like. So it's not about hatred or anything as such. I do not hate any author or any books, but it's about what I dislike and maybe some things I find overrated. So I'm just going to talk about that. I'm really sorry if I end up adding your favorite book or your favorite author in this list. I don't mean to hurt you or anything as such. It's just that it's my opinion. Don't take it otherwise. Okay, so firstly, let's talk about the series that I read and did not like, and it was the Divergent series. Now, I am personally not really a series person. I like standalone novels, but I felt like I should go ahead and read this series because it was really overhyped and a lot of people were talking about that series in that particular time, and I just couldn't resist and I had to read it. Okay, so I did read the entire series. Divergent was an okay book for me. It was all right, it was nice, okay, fine, but then the hype, it just got really high and I was like, I don't really think that this story or this book deserves that kind of a hype, and I just couldn't really relate to it. And then I went ahead and read the other two books in the series, Allegiant and Insurgent, and things got worse. Like Divergent was still okay, but Allegiant and Insurgent were just plain boring and not that great. And then I was like, what is going around? Why are people comparing the Divergent series with Hunger Games? Like, what is going around? And I just did not understand. I think Divergent series is so overrated. It just makes me feel really sick, to be very honest, at the end of the day. So Divergent series is that one series that I completely do not like, and I don't really think it deserves to be this popular. But if you like it, then I'm really sorry, but yeah, for me it just did not work. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about an author, and this author, I really rooted for this author. There was a point of time when I read back-to-back books by this author, and I did end up liking quite a few of them, and even now if I go and read those books, I will still love those books. So it's not like I hate this person, it's just that this author has become so freaking popular, and I just feel that all of his books are not really that great, and I'm really sorry, but this is going to be controversial. So the name of this author is Paulo Coelho, and I am really sorry. I know few of you people must really be freaking out right now that how can I even say that Paulo Coelho is popular and he doesn't deserve it, or how can I not like him? Please don't misunderstand me. I have read quite a few books by him. There are some of them right over there, and I have also read some other on Kindle, and there are some books over there as well. So it's not like I have not read him and without any knowledge I'm talking like this. I have read quite a few books by him, and I have loved a few books by him. For example, The Alchemist, it's a cult book, it's a classic book, and nothing can replace that book. That book is like the best book you can recommend to a beginner. I know there are a lot of beginners who began with that book and now are advanced level readers, so we should all be thankful to Paulo Coelho. Also, there is this book by the River Pietra, I Sat Down and Wept, and I think that book was also amazing. 11 minutes was great, but the number of books that he has written and the number of books that I have actually liked, there is a huge difference. I think he has written a lot of books, but not all of them are that great, and that's why I have included him in this list. I love Paulo Coelho's writing. It's magical, it's beautiful, it really builds a connection with the reader, undoubtedly. What happens is that he builds up a lot, like a lot is happening and it's very deep and meaningful, but at the end of the day, nothing really happens. Like all of that build up doesn't really lead to anything, and that is something that really irks me, because if I have started on a journey, I do want to go to a particular destination, right? Now obviously journey is the most important thing, but destination is also equally important. Now if I have started with a book and I'm reading it and there's a lot of build up, a lot of things are happening, then of course I will also expect that something will be there at the end for which I'm reading the book, right? But what happens with Paulo Coelho's most of the books is that you read the book and you are on a journey, but it just doesn't lead you to anywhere or anything, and that really upsets me, because I start a book, I feel amazing, I am on a journey, and then there's just no point at the end anymore. It feels like the book started very passionately, but it ends on a very shallow and weak point, and that is not something I really like, or that is not something I'm a fan of. Okay, so the next book that I'm going to talk about has kept me confused for the longest of time, and it is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. And if any of my friends are watching this video right now, they will be utterly confused, because they remember that I talked a lot about the book Norwegian Wood, and I also told them that I loved that book, and I also told them that I hated that book. So basically I have a love and hate relationship with this book Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. So if you have read the Norwegian Wood, then you would know that there are numerous subplots in this one book. So there is a primary plot, and then there are many subplots. So there are different characters who come from different backgrounds, so they bring their own stories, and which is amazing, which is great, because you get to experience so much. You get to experience the characters and their stories, and each of those stories are equally interesting. Each of those stories add to the primary plot, but the problem is that all these subplots lead to nothing, and that is something that really irks me, because trust me, each of the subplots in this one book are so strong that you can totally bring out or carve out a different novel for those stories. Yes, that's how strong those subplots are. And that's why I had great expectations that, okay, all these different stories, when all these different stories will come together and accumulate, something great is going to happen. Okay, something so amazing and so beautiful that my mind is going to explode at the end. That's what I really felt. Also, while I was reading the book, I had a lot of different thoughts that, yeah, this might end like this, and the book is pretty unpredictable. It's very unpredictable. You just don't know what's going to happen next, which is such a great thing about a book. And yet I was just trying to predict what's going to happen. Maybe this will happen, maybe that will happen, maybe these stories will come together like this, and so much I was thinking. And at the end of the day, nothing happens, and something so stupid happens that I was devastated. Trust me, I cannot explain how much I hated it, because I was really looking forward to something extremely amazing, and then I was served with something that was not even good. Like, just forget about it being a masterpiece. It was not even plain good. That's why I was really disappointed, because I knew that the story had great potentials, but I don't think it was used. Now I understand why Norwegian Wood is so popular. Like, of course it will be. I read it, and I was really amazed by how amazingly it has been written. But then the end, what happens, and what the hell was the protagonist doing? And at the end of the day, I was just shocked. I was just so angry, and I was plain disappointed. I just don't know. So yeah, this is one book that is so freaking popular, and I don't like it. Next book is Looking for Alaska by John Green, and I think this book is going to be made into a movie. I think so. I think I read it somewhere. Now, Looking for Alaska. Okay, so John Green is, of course, one of my favorite authors because of The Fault in Our Stars, obviously. Also, I loved his book, The Turtles All the Way Down. It was amazing. But Looking for Alaska? What was he thinking when he wrote that book? I just don't know. When I think about Looking for Alaska, I'm just pure blank. I don't remember half of it, and I don't even want to remember, because really there was definitely nothing. What the hell was Alaska's character? And I just don't know. The entire book was just plain cringy. I just couldn't understand Alaska's character at all. Like, I just did not see a point in the way her character was portrayed. Now, of course, it's not like I don't understand that there are people like her who are self-destructive, who are very careless, who are just like that, you know. And it's okay. You don't have to give an explanation for carving out a character like that. But there has to be some point to it. You cannot create a character like Alaska and then glorify it, because I really don't think that there was anything glorifying about Alaska's character. I think she was a really problematic character, and she was pretty toxic, and I would not want to glorify such a toxic character in my book. At least something I did not expect this from John Green, who is really careful when he carves out a character. His characters do really have depth, but with Alaska's character, I don't think there was depth. I think she was just a teenager who needed help, and which was not shown in the book. So for me, looking for Alaska really did not make sense, but of course it was written beautifully. There were some beautiful quotes that I loved from the book, and that's it. It was not an experience for me. So I know how popular the book is, and now there's going to be a movie, but I don't like this book at all. The next book is also going to be a book by John Green, and it is The Paper Towns. So there's already a movie on this book, and the name of the movie is Paper Towns, and that really explains it, how popular the book was. I just don't understand the book at all. I just don't understand the plot of Paper Towns at all. I just feel like there was this one idea that came into the mind of John Green, and it was the idea of a paper town, and then it was just one idea that, I don't know, he could have written a short story, but he went ahead and thought that why not just write a novel, and the title of that book will be Paper Towns, and how cool that will be. And then he wrote the book, and it did not make sense. And I'm sorry if it's your favorite book then, but I was pathetically bored when I was reading this book. Like, when I was reading the book, I was so bored, I cannot even tell you enough. Like, I was just plain bored. I just did not like the protagonists at all. I just felt like they were pretty shallow, and there wasn't much depth to their character as much John Green was trying to show you. He was really trying to show you how deep their characters are, but there wasn't any substance. The author also tries to show you the depth of the relationship between the two characters, but to be very honest, there wasn't anything between the two. Like, there wasn't enough a relationship between the two that there will be any depth, and they were just going around doing stupid shit. That's all. And again, John Green's protagonist Margot, she was just on a rampage, and he was trying to glorify it and add depth to it, but she really needed help. That's all. And I think that's what he should have shown. I don't think that she was a character with a lot of depth. I just felt like she was a character who needed help. So for me, Paper Towns was completely a bizarre book. I don't know why it's so popular, but it is, and it's okay. But I did not like it. It doesn't matter if John Green is one of my favorites, but if he has written something so terrible, then I need to talk about it. And that's why I did include 2 of his books in this list, because really they are so popular, but I don't think that they deserve to be that popular. Alright guys, so that was all for today. I don't want to make this video too long. I might come up with a second episode of this thing, and then we will talk about other authors and books that are really popular but I do not like them. And again, I'm really sorry if I ended up adding your favorite author or book in this list. I did not mean to offend you. It was just my opinion, and I think you should respect it, and I'm really sorry if it really offended you or if you are hurt. So if you enjoyed watching this video, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a new video, since I post new videos every week. And I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.